Oi, well, that's the way we say hello in Brazil. Hello, children, how are you people doing? I'm Saurabh Kumar Dutt, and I'm here to teach you people a little bit about trigonometry, where we are going to discuss about compound angles. Now, when we talk about compound angles, we primarily talk about a sum of two angles or a difference of two angles, and then in front of it we can use any of the six trigonometric ratios, that is sine, cos, tan, cot, sec, cosec, and when we find it out, it's actually finding out trigonometric ratios of compound angles. So all of this is going to be discussed a little. Rest, obviously, for that you will have to come to me for more later. I'll tell you ways where you can get more and have a complete understanding of this topic of compound and multiple angles of trigonometry. At this time, I'm sure you people are seeing that we are here at a lovely stadium. This is MERACANA Stadium, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It's an awesome place to be in, and I'm sure to see any of the great football matches once in your lifetime, you're going to be here. And obviously, when you're there in Brazil, there is a lot to do in Brazil. In times to come within this lecture, I will tell you a lot of things about Brazil, few funny things, few things to learn from, and then when you are tired, I'll also be serving you people with a lovely sweet dish which you will only get in Brazil. So children, let's get started and let's discuss all of this. First, I'd like to tell you people a little about this compound angles of trigonometry. So children, when we talk about compound angles, like I told you, we will be talking about either a sum or a difference of angles, right? So either we talk about a plus b or we talk about a minus b. So here we are talking about sine of a plus b, and this is a formula that is given by sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. Right? Now, as you've aptly looked up in the shot, we can have certain angles whose sum we can get to be some other angle which we can find sine of. Like for that matter, if you talk about sine of, say, 90 degree, it can be written as sine of 60 plus 30, and then this formula can be applied. A similar formula is there also when we talk about a difference of both of these angles A and B. That is, when we talk about sine of A minus B, then that becomes equal to sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. So I'm sure you're able to see that both of these formulae are pretty much similar, as when we talk about compound angles, we talk about either A plus B or A minus B. And in place of plus, when you're using a minus with sine, then you're talking about the other formula. And here you have sine A cos B plus cos A sine B. And here too you have sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. That means in the place of plus sign, if we use a minus sign, then we get to the other formula. So pretty much similar, and thus it'll be pretty easy for you to learn this formula. So are you children clear about this? We are talking about compound angles, which can either be the sum of two angles or it can be a difference of two angles. And with that, when we find out some trigonometric ratios like sine, cos, tan, cot, sec, cosec, then we talk about the trigonometry of compound angles. Now here at this time, we will just be dealing with sine. As such, these are the two formulae that you require for sine. Now to tell you people a little more about Brazil, and after that we will be discussing a sum. So what's special about Brazil is the moment you reach Brazil, you have to be cautious about one thing. That is, the moment the people of Brazil meet some new people, they give you 2 or 3 kisses. So you have to be cautious, right? And you have to tell that, okay, we can do without it. That is how they show their affection. But if you are not going to have it, obviously that's fine, but you should be prepared for it, right? So this is something, the moment you meet anybody from Brazil, you are expected that this is going to happen. So you have to be on your caution, especially the ladies, right? Okay, now there is more about Brazil which in times to come I'm going to tell you, but at the moment we are going to get started and I'll be giving you people a relative sum which I like you people to try, right? So this is that sum. I want you people to try. I'll give you people some seconds for trial, after which I'll be discussing the sum. Make sure, children, that you are seated at a place which is secluded. That means that does not have any disturbance of some friends, relatives, etc. Telling you people about different things. As such, you can fully focus. More so, make sure that you are seated on a table and chair, and that helps you to study better, especially mathematics. And obviously you can't doze off then, otherwise when you sit on a bed and try to study, then what will happen is gradually you will feel a mild ache in your back, and thus you like to stretch a little, and then that little becomes full falling asleep. So don't try and do that. Best is always sit on a table and chair. You'll see that your study will be much better, and in fact you will be able to do over a period of time much studies because you have studied on a table and chair. Okay, now children, one thing more. I like you people that when I am explaining this sum solution, I like you people to put your writing material down, sit straight with your spine straight, and just focus exactly where I am. Like if in find I am at F, you have to be at F. If I'm at I, you have to be at I, and so on, right? So here we're going to look up to find out the value of sine of 105 plus sine of 15 degrees. Like, caution is best when you're doing sums on mathematics, especially when you have to calculate much. So here I will also teach you how on your caution you can calculate less and even then get to the correct answer. So the first thing, children, that we get to see here is we have the formulae to be applied. So first we will talk about the two formulae that we're going to apply. That is, when we talk about sine of A plus B, then we have a formula that you've just learned along with me. Yes. Well, very good. This is what I want. I want you to just keep telling with me, memorizing with me, because this is the best time. The time when you've just got to know it, that's the best time that you can memorize it, right? Later it's going to become stale and it will not be so very easy for you to learn, right? So this is one of the formulae that we'll use, and the other formula that we're going to use is going to be of sine of A minus B, and that is very similar to the earlier one as we've already looked up, and I'm sure you people are mumbling with me. Very good. So sine of A plus B is sine A cos B plus cos A sine B, and sine of A minus B is sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. Okay, so how do we get along with this sum is when we talk about sine of 105, right, we've got to break it up in terms of two angles, right? And then we'll be talking about adding to it sine of 15 degrees, which obviously has to be written as a difference of two angles. I'm sure measures of angles are coming in your mind, right? Do check whether what you're thinking is what I'm going to write now. So you can write this as sine of 60 plus 45. That is sine of 60 degree plus 45 degree will obviously make it 105 degree. And now if you talk about sine of 45 degree, right, minus 30 degree, right, that also is going to give you 15 degrees, right? Now children, can 15 degrees be got somehow else? Yes. If you talk about this 15 degrees, we can even write this to be 60 minus 45, and that's going to be helpful because then we will have certain trigonometrical ratios which will come to be exactly the same. As such, some cancellation is possible. So as such, astutely you can write in place of 45 minus 30, 60 minus 45, which is also going to give you 15 degree. Just see now how certain trigonometrical ratios will get cancelled. As such, we are now going to talk about a sine of 60 plus 45, right, obviously in degrees, to which now we are going to add sine of 60 minus 45, which also is going to give us 15, but as the angles are similar, you will find that many trigonometrical ratios will automatically get cancelled, simplifying our calculations. Okay, so next, now as you have the formula, this is going to become equal to sine 60 cos 45, right, plus cos 60 sine 45, right, and to it you're going to add sine 60 cos 45 minus cos 60 sine 45, and I'm sure you're able to see here where we've been able to get certain common terms which are additive inverse of each other. As such, we can cancel them. That is, if you talk about cos 60 sine 45, one is in positive and the other is in negative, as such they will get cancelled and simplify your calculations. As such, 2 times of sine 60, right, cos 45 degree is what is going to remain, because both of these terms, as you can see, are identical. So it is just like a plus a, which will become equal to 2a. Now, as these are standard trigonometrical ratios, you know their values very well. So have you learned those tables? If not, do learn it. So here we have the value of sine 60, which becomes equal to root 3 upon 2, and then we have the value of cos 45, which is 1 by root 2, right? So here, children, we get to see that there are certain terms which will again get cancelled, like 2 will get cancelled with 2, and as such the final result is going to be root 3, which is going to be divided by root 2. As you know that we don't keep irrational numbers in the denominator, as such what you'll do is you will rationalize this with root 2 in the numerator and in the denominator. So this thus is going to become equal to root 3, which is going to get multiplied with root 2, and in the denominator we have root 2 into root 2, which will become equal to 2. Now, as you know that root a into root b is equal to root of ab, right? So that is the reason why we'll have 3 and 2 multiplied together here, and thus it will become equal to root of 6, which will be divided by 2, and which then will become your final answer. So all of this, children, I'll quickly discuss with you, so that if there is any doubt whatsoever, you will get to know about that. So here, children, we are talking about finding out the value of sine of 105, and adding to it is sine of 15 degrees, right? So when we talk about this, we have 2 formulae which are going to be applied that we've just learned. That is sine of a plus b, which is sine a cos b plus cos a sine b, and the other is sine of a minus b, which becomes sine a cos b minus cos a sine b, right? So applying both of these, sine 105 can be written as sine of 60 plus 45, right, which will give you obviously 105. And then sine of 15 degree can be written as 45 minus 30. Now here you get to see that there will be different angles than 60, right? So as such, there will be certain terms which will probably not get cancelled, right? That's why what we do is we try using the same angle so that there is maximum cancellation and the calculation becomes easy. So now we can talk about sine of 60 minus 45, which also is going to be sine of 15 degrees, and as angles are same, so it will be pretty simple for us to simplify. Now here thus we have using sine of 60 minus 45 and 60 plus 45. So sine of 60 plus 45 becomes sine 60 cos 45 plus cos 60 sine 45, and sine of 60 minus 45 becomes sine 60 cos 45 minus cos 60 sine 45, right? Now here next what we do is we now do the cancellation of the terms which are identical but additive inverse of each other. So we are just left out with something which is a plus a. That means the 2 terms which are the same type get added to become 2a. So that becomes 2 times of sine 60 cos 45. Now in this we substitute the values. That is, sine 60 is written as root 3 by 2, and cos 45 is 1 by root 2, as these are standard angles. So I'm sure you people must have learned the tables. If not, learn it just now, right? And then do the sum further. So keep these values. You will find that there are 2 terms which are 2 in the numerator and in the denominator being in multiplication will get cancelled. So now you are left out with root 3 divided by root 2. Now here you get to see that if you have an irrational number in the denominator, that is something which is not accepted. As such, with root 2 you will multiply in the numerator and in the denominator, and as such rationalize it. Root 2 into root 2 is going to become equal to 2, and in the numerator you will have root 3 into root 2, which as root a into root b is equal to root of ab will become equal to root 6. As such, root 6 upon 2 will become the final answer, which is actually the sum of sine of 105 plus sine of 15 degrees. So have you people been able to understand this? For sure. Now, something which is very good about the people of Brazil is they are really very helpful, right? So anywhere you go, right, you will find that any Brazilian will obviously try and speak to you in such a way so that you are helped, because as it is a tourist destination, you tend just not to be to the carnival, which is really awesome, but to other places like beaches. There can be other places which are really extravagant, which you like to visit, like waterfalls, mountains, and there's obviously the Amazon forest. So at all of these places, whenever you find a person of Brazilian origin, just say oi, and I'm sure that person will be ready to help you. Moreover, if you talk about something which is sad about Brazil, is we had the democratic government here which were in such a way so that they were unstable, and as such couldn't take proper decisions. As such, the economy is a little in jeopardy, right? Otherwise, Brazil, in accordance with the resources that it has, it could have risen much high, right? Moreover, you will find that people are still struggling through, and they are always smiles. They are very hardworking, and it is that place of the world which is the industrial capital, you can say, of South America, right? So plantations of coffee, cocoa, soybean, and sugarcane are much. As such, sugar and coffee, cocoa exports are to the maximum. So this is something which is really awesome, and you'll find that the life in Brazil is really upbeat, and you'll enjoy it, and you like to visit it again and again. So very nice about Brazil. And things which are amusing a little is another thing I'll tell you, that you'll find that if you talk about a person in Brazil, there is a joke that if you call him, might be he'll not be able to answer the call. That's because he is there in his bathroom, because the people of Brazil, because of the temperatures soaring somewhat almost around about the whole year remaining hot, they tend to take 2 or 3 baths, right? And that's why it is joked that probably when you call a Brazilian, he will be in the bath, right? And that's all, and that's a lot that I had for you people here, and I'm sure you people must be hungry now. So let me quickly share a sweet dish of Brazil with you people, right, which will be something which you'll only get in Brazil, right? And that is mousse de maracuja, right? So it's an awesome sweet dish, right, you will get in Brazil, and the taste is just awesome, right? And I'm sure all of this you must have liked, and you surely are going to subscribe, and you're going to come back for more. Moreover, if you want more and you want to understand more topics in an easy way with a lot of talk happening about it, and not get to understand that actually just maths is happening. So in this very happy to happen things, mathematics in the midst is going to be served by me, and you want it this way and understand mathematics with ease, in which I'm going to provide you 100% confidence, is where you can come to me, and there is the link to a form which you can fill, after which I will be doing a one-to-one with you, where in a webinar we'll be discussing what your problem areas are, and then I'll come over to help you out live, as well as with many other resources that I have. So waiting to serve you, and meet you people soon. Bye. Oi, bye.